Alright, peace and love, peace and love. Y'all see me in the uniform, you know where I'm headed. And I was anxious to get on here today to talk to y'all about this. Because, man, it's just been heavy on the brain, and I'm like, man, I can't wait to kind of share this, because it's like I think this will be helpful. I'll explain one day what I'm laughing at. But I'm not even really laughing. It's really more like I was laughing, but it's not laughing at it, man. It's just, I'll explain one day. So yeah, I was excited about talking about this today, because, like, not saying I just knew I was gonna talk about it for weeks or nothing, but like this morning there was something on my mind, and I'm like, oh man, yeah, man, this might be a good time to talk about that. And I actually was sent a video that really just inspired me even more to talk about it. So it just got me super excited about this, even though it might not be a super exciting message. I don't know, but I just wanted to offer some help and some understanding. Now, as I say or have said in a couple of these videos, like, nothing I'm saying do I want you to just consume and say that's a fact. I'm gonna do what he just said. Like, I want you to take some time to study or to research or to understand these things for yourself. But and that's gonna be for the people who watch this and are like, what is he talking about? Like, I don't have a clue what he's talking about. Those people may need to, well, not may need to, I want you to go and research, go and study, go listen to some other people, read some books, and gain knowledge for yourself, so that you will know if what I'm speaking is true or false. You won't have to guess or assume. You won't say, oh, that's Milton, he's cool, so he's probably right, I'll listen. I don't even want you to do that. I want you to know for sure, for certain, that what I'm saying is true to you. So some people are going to watch and don't have a clue. Please study, please understand, please seek to understand what I'm saying if you don't understand. There are going to be some other people who are watching this video that's going to be like, well, this is right on time for what I'm dealing with. I've been searching to understand this. I've been wanting to do better with this. I've been wanting to understand better so that I can do better. And you just gave me that word. So I know I was looking for this. So therefore, I'm already in agreement with this, because I've been looking for this. But if I still need to do my research, I can, I will. And it's like, that's okay. You know what I mean? Like, every aspect of this is okay. Like, if you don't understand it, if you do understand it, if you want to research, if you don't need to research because you've already researched and you were waiting for this answer, then that's all well. All is well. So again, peace and love. So this is the thing that I wanted to talk about today. This topic for understanding. Enemies. Enemies, the enemy, your enemy, my enemy, our enemy. Who has enemies? Understanding enemies. I wanted to just offer a little bit of what I have experienced and have grown to understand, and maybe this resonates with you, maybe it doesn't. So, a good number of us were brought up in the church. I was, AME, yeah, so anyway, that was a moment. So yeah, we come from the church, so we grew up under a certain teaching, of Christianity. And for others that came up in other things, you may have gotten some similar, or you may have had a totally different experience. So, but for me, coming up Christian, in a Christian home, it was, my knowledge of the enemy was, it was the devil, it was Satan, right? And there were always these very, some more detailed than others, but she just turned all in my lane. But there were always these images that we were shown, and depending on the movie or the graphic artist, some could be far more detailed than others. But one thing that was kind of universal was that it was this red being that had horns, and sometimes, most often, maybe a pitchfork that he always kept in his hand, I guess to battle things with. Needed that pitchfork. So, red being that we were taught lives beneath the earth's surface, right? So as children, if you begin to consume these teachings and begin to believe them and understand that you're being raised in a religion that teaches you truth, that teaches you should never tell a lie, you should always tell the truth. And they teach you about this red being under the ground. All right? And so your whole life you grow up thinking it's this red being under the ground. And that person will from time to time maybe come up to Earth's surface, or come into your home, come into your neighborhood, come into your school, come into you, and make you do bad things, or make bad things happen around you, bad things happen in your school, bad things happen in your community, because the devil felt on a particular day that of the billions of people on the earth, that he could come up from the surface and bother, that he would choose to come up from beneath the earth and bother you, right? And depending on who your pastor was, when you begin to kind of wonder about this and how that would be possible, if you ever ask that question, you may never ask that question, you may have just roll with it, that it's billions of people, but he's choosing to bother you. So you might have had an intelligent pastor that could teach you that, where he can be in multiple places and bother multiple people at the same time. Now, on the other hand, you had a God or a Jesus or, the Holy Spirit that could do these same things. So it's kind of like they had equal powers in a way, but, and I don't want to go too far. In that, like, I'm going somewhere, but I'm just saying that we were brought up in a religion that taught truth, correct? We were taught truth. It's all about truth. So there's this red being under the ground, right? That's gonna, at some point in your life, come up and disrupt you, knock you off track, and So now, if your physical eyes, if you're dealing with your physical eyes, were to deal in truth, then you could, and you would admit that you've never seen this red being come up from the ground and bother you. You've never seen it. Now you have maybe felt that it has been present within or within somebody else, and it has made them do bad things or made you do a bad thing that you didn't want to do, but it's never been physically seen with your two eyes, right? Now we're dealing with truth. So as we continue to progress through this throughout life, we have this idea of what the devil or the Satan or the enemy is. So we may become strong in Christianity and become warriors or fighters of evil and of Satan and of the devil. So we just waiting for this red thing to come up from under this ground one day to try us, so that we can, defeat him and get him under our feet. We're gonna stomp on him. And, you know, we waiting on this time for that to happen so that we can do our next move. We're waiting for the devil to show up and let us see that red body. And when I see it, I know I'm coming with I've been saving up a punch for this devil since I was born. Woo! I'm gonna put some smoke on this one. You can tell I don't even punch because I don't even know if my fist was balled up right. That's another thing. But anyway, so some of y'all have been fighting the enemy, or at least felt like you've been fighting the enemy. You've talked about fighting the enemy, defeating the enemy that you have, but you're constantly struggling with things. Well, I want to help you with that. I want to help you with why you're still struggling with things when you know who the enemy is. It's the devil, it's Satan. You know that he's red, and you ready for him to try you. But I think that the issue that we're having is that because we're waiting for something to happen before we do something, we're missing something. We're missing something. I'm not here to make a joke of you or what you believe, but I'm here to inspire you and to activate you and start you on the path of becoming your best self. You know, no longer sitting around here lower level, you know, waiting for things to happen when we could be up here, upper level, you know, raising our vibration and getting closer to God, and not only physically, but mentally and spiritually, by growing into Him, growing into His knowledge, His knowing. Now, some of y'all might be like scared of that, what I'm saying. It might shock you right now. You might say, oh, I gotta turn this off because that ain't me. And that's fine. If this is your point in time to turn it off, turn it off. But for everybody else, I want y'all to understand this. And there's levels to this, because we gotta understand what we're really dealing with right now in this world. We gotta understand why we're hearing the news that we're hearing. We gotta know why we're seeing the things that we're seeing. You need to understand why, if you go outside at night right now and it's a clear sky, you're gonna see some things that you don't remember seeing. When you were little, you seen stars before, you seen the moon before, but right now, if you outside at night and you looking up at that sky, you seeing something different. You seeing something and you like, nah, I ain't seeing that. That light seemed way brighter than all the other stars. I don't know. Nah, I ain't tripping. It's like the sun's still out though. The sun's still going down. Is that a star? Why is it so bright already and the sun not even gone all the way? I don't remember that when I was little. I don't remember. I would have noticed that there's a really, 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 really bright one that be out before it's even dark outside. I would remember that because as a kid, you paid attention to the sky. You saw that stuff, but you never seen that. You never seen this. And you trying to figure out what you seeing. But you don't want to think too deep because you grew up without believing none of this. So it's like, okay, hold on now, hold on. The government done already came out and said that, okay, we got to admit it, that there's some stuff out here that we don't understand, right? It's a lot out here that y'all don't understand. One of those things being who the enemy is, or what the enemy is, or what the enemy's job is. And I really spent too much time on the visualization of the devil, but I had to do that to really hopefully ruffle your feathers, maybe even just get you like, hold on, man, what don't you talk about my religion? But I haven't talked about the religion. I haven't put down Christianity. I said I grew up under Christianity. I said I was taught these things in the religion of truth. That's supposed to be about truth. We're not supposed to tell lies. We're supposed to tell the truth. So we should always tell the truth. Now, if you still at your age believe that the truth is that Satan or the devil is a red being under the ground, we really need to have a serious talk. If you believe that is truth at this point in time, that there's a red being coming from under the ground with a pitchfork and do something to you, we need to talk. We need to have a real talk. I want to deal with truth, and I want to love on you. I'm loving on you by telling you the truth. I love you, so I'm telling you the truth. We got to deal with truth. It's not a red being under the ground. But you are dealing with a power, right? That can control you, control your mind, control your thinking, control your actions. And your mission is to figure out who or what that is doing that. And then you have to train yourself and have discipline to overcome that which makes you do that. Think about that. Slow that down. Your mission is to figure out what that is that makes you do these things or makes people do these things, and learn to master it, to control it, because it's in you too. That what you're seeing, and that's why you act out. That's why you do the things you do. That's why you do everything that you do that is, no good or evil or spiteful, and all these negative energies and forces like that we deal with. It's all coming from within, just like the good things are coming from within. But we have to know how to identify that as something and understand that we all possess it, the good and the bad. We possess it, but we must learn to overcome it. And that's how you elevate. That's how you grow into God's mind. That's how you defeat the enemy. But it's not a red being under the ground, and it's not even the people that are in opposition to you that are battling you in this time. The people that are coming against you, it's not even them. But it's them not knowing how to control that inner being that makes them do that. That makes them act out, that makes them hate you, that makes them dislike you. They don't even know that thing exists, because to them it may still be a red being under the ground that makes them do that. It's not them, they themselves, But that might be too deep. I might have to cut this video. This might not make it. This might just be for me. But I really wanted to help y'all understand, but it's just I'm on limited time, so it probably wasn't one that could squeeze into, this little drive to work. But I challenge you to really find out what it is within people that makes them do things. If you're willing to agree that at this point you understand that Satan, does exist, or the devil or the enemy does exist, we can agree. But it's not going to be this red being that come up from underneath the ground. So once we can graduate from that, now we know that it exists. Now we need to find out where it exists. And once we find out where it exists, or how it exists, or who it exists with or within, then we can figure out how to remove or to overcome, that type of thinking. And we're going to elevate our thinking to, as we grow into God's mind and growing in the knowledge that God has left here on earth for us to acquire in this time. Like he's sending, it's not even that if it left the earth, I don't know if it ever left the earth. But the knowledge is here. The knowledge that we need to return to God is here already. It's already here. This might be too deep for y'all. I don't know. I don't know who all watch these. I really don't. I hope it's not too deep. But the knowledge is here. And it's up to us to acquire this knowledge, to understand more, to understand nature, to understand the world, to understand everything that is, to not take things personally, because it's not you. it's the whole thing working together to mold and to teach. And those who are seeing this time and learning this time are elevating and growing into God's mind. Others will probably have to repeat this thing until they figure it out. Some of us have been here and acquired a lot of knowledge already, so we are already knowing what to do in this time. And it's like, now it's just like, okay, we got a fresh body to get back down here and finish the research, finish the knowledge, and growing into and returning to God. So I hope that didn't confuse y'all. I hope y'all understood that. I hope it wasn't too deep. The enemy. I probably will do a part 2 to this so I can really get into the enemy, though, because I don't think I really dealt with it like I wanted to. So the enemy. We're going to talk about the enemy and knowing who the enemy is and what the enemy looks like. All right. Peace and love, y'all. We're gonna get into it.